recording here. Yep, okay, I'm recording. When I am talking, adding the postal code, you have your 3 lines for your address, right? Your name, your address, your city, state, zip. Next step on this mail merge said in step 5. You skip step 4, it's filter recipients. I've not once, and I've done hundreds of mail merges, I've not once ever used that. I suppose that's there for if you have a company and you want to remove anybody that is the A's, or you just want to send stuff to people who have a last name that starts with H, or people who have a last name that starts with Z. You would pick those out and filter the recipients. Usually when I do a mail merge, I have a specific purpose, and I know exactly who I want there. So step 5, it says click on this item right here that has that ABC. So if I click on that, what it's going to do is show me all those names. Now, just like you had when you were typing in your data source, you notice you can go through and I can go see each one of those. And so it goes through each person's address that I have inputted and their name and whatnot. And then step 6 tells me I want to not merge to printer. Do not merge to printer. If I see stuff coming out, I'm coming after you. Merge to a new document. How many pages did I just create? Not 2. 5. You can look at the bottom of your screen and you can see pages 1 of 5. As many records as I had, that's how many pages I have. Now, when you merged, it did create a new document called form letters. Generally, when you are doing items, this is what you want to create. This is what you want to save, excuse me, is this new document you created. Now, can I go make changes to it? Yes, most definitely. Scroll through these. There's one. Abby's invited. Courtney's invited. Destiny's invited. Hannah's invited. Brianna's invited. So I could see each person would have their own page. Now, if I want to make changes to this form letter, I could do it manually in each one of these, but how cumbersome. Especially if I'm as popular as Paige and I would invite like 70 people to my party. I only did 5, just random sampling. But if I wanted to invite a whole bunch of people, it would be a pain in the drain to go make changes on everybody's. Yes, I could try to use a find and replace. But if you go back to that original main document, in this case it was document 3 was my main document, maybe I want to just do people by their first name. The post office would really hate me for that. But let me take this off, and I could just go delete this field that says last name. And so now, when I go look at my, why did it put that back? Okay. So now when I go look at all my items, they're going to say just the people's first name. And so again, if I merge to a new document, that new document is going to be called Form Letters 2, by the way. It just has their first name. So if I need to make changes, that's probably the easiest way to go do so is back on that main document again. Any questions about mail merge? It's a totally new concept. You will be practicing it a minimum of 2 days next week. As long as you master it, we'll only do 2. We could do 3. We could do 4 mail merge practices. It's important that you know how to do a mail merge. One other thing I want to show you quickly is, where did that go? Here it is. This is what the data source looks like. Now remember, I didn't actually save my documents. It's not going to actually show stuff in it. Unless you are well versed with creating mail merges, I would not recommend messing in the data source. Go ahead and do it in the form boxes that they give you. Because if you mess in this data source, you can seriously mess things up and it won't work right. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. That's why. So I would not recommend opening this data source and messing in it. But notice, it just created it like a table, correct? That's all it does. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And you can go ahead and close out of all these other documents that we've created. All the form letters that you have in there. No. Unless you really want to remember everybody's address, but then that's just kind of creepy actually. So I'm going to not save that, and I'm going to not save that, and I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Okay. So you are going to practice doing a mail merge. You're going to invite, or you're going to create a letter for Bianca Vega, George Corrigan, and Nora Griffin, and then they each have a business below them, so you'll need to leave that on there. step, or the last page, I shouldn't say it's step 6, but last page, is you're going to create labels. We're going to talk specifically about creating one page of labels. Can you do labels as a mail merge? Oh, heck yeah. But we're going to talk about one page of labels. So it says you're going to click the Labels tab in the Tool menu so the dialog box as shown below appears. Then you key the address or the information you want. Because it is Valentine's Day and all of you need to give Valentines to people because that is just the nice thing to do, I would like you to create a new document. And actually, when you create labels, you don't have to create a new document because it automatically creates a new one, but it's nicer to have a white canvas to look at in the background. So again, I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go down to Labels. And then you'll see this dialog box appear. Now, it asks you for the address. You can type whatever your little heart desires in there. We're going to go ahead, since it's a name. Now you will notice on this, Mako Wilson Jones is my type of label I have chosen. Click on that options box beside that. And you will see there are various label products. Avery is probably the most common label. It's one like if you go to Office Max or Walmart or wherever, that's going to be the most common. It's also the most expensive. Mako Wilson Jones is like the Surefine brand of that. Still just as good, still works great, just a lot cheaper. Lots of these other ones are out there, but the two most common are Avery and Mako Wilson Jones. Now, how do you know what type of label you have? Well, good question. So when you buy labels, they actually say it on them. So like this one says Mako Wilson Jones. And yeah, you people who are listening online, you don't get to have this. But it says Mako Wilson Jones. And then at the bottom it says ML600. Tells me the type of label. And this is a shipping label. This one is ML3000. Down at the bottom. This is an Avery one. Avery puts their number right there, 5265. Or it puts it up the top too. And it's a full page of labels. So you can see you have all of those available to you in this list. If I ever need to make postcards for something, I don't know, maybe you're going to invite somebody and you decide you don't want to spend as much in postage, you can go make postcards because it usually tells you the dimensions and the size. So you can scroll through, I could see, like here's a postcard size one from Mako Wilson Jones, 4x6. Let's go ahead and do that one because, you know, postcards would probably be realistic that you'd want to print or have a label for or something. So it's ML8575. And they are in numerical order, so you can scroll through to find that. So Mako Wilson Jones, ML8575. And it tells me the dimensions are 4x6. You can even go make a new label of your own. If you decide you wanted a certain size, just go set it up that way. Then click OK. And you can do just one single label, but generally when you do a label, you want a whole page of them. I have not bought those Christmas stick on to from, a little Christmas clip art piece on it, and it says to from, and then I just stick that on. My husband, he just writes it on the package. Drives me crazy. But I don't choose to do that. So I use these labels, print them off, super easy. Click OK. By the way, before you click OK, notice you can actually print these right away, but generally you're going to want to do some formatting to them. You could add in a mail merge. It just gives you another option in case you clicked on the wrong area. Click OK. See your magic happen. So here's my 4x6 postcards. Looks like it prints 2 to a page. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Now this looks very yucky right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pretty it up, and I'm going to format it with, I need to move this out of the way. I'm going to format, oh, I'll do it all at once. I'm going to format it with like a scrolly font. Allura, that sounds fancy. I'm going to make it bigger so you can read it and it fills the whole page so it looks like I care about people. There you go. And because it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to make mine pink. That's my highlight color. Whoops. I'm going to make mine pink. Magenta, excuse me. Bubblegum. Carnation. Which one sounds better? Carnation. Okay, carnation it is. And there I've made my lovely labels. Or postcards in this case, and then I could cut them out. And it just feeds through. So one of your assignments is you're going to make your own mailing address labels, like return address. And you'll just follow the directions. But one page of the same labels is pretty easy to see. I could do the same thing and do like the ML600, and I'd have 6 labels on each page. Any questions? Okay, I know it's totally new concepts. Like I said, we will review because mail merge is a foreign concept, but it is something you genuinely can use later on in your life. And you will use it more as you get out of high school and have to start doing things in the real world. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to pause this.